Kirby and the Forgotten Land just got a brand new demo on the Nintendo eShop, and we went through it and saw all types of crazy details and hidden secrets within that demo, and there was over 50 different secrets that we found. But one of the secrets was the most interesting. Having the ability to translate all the words on signs in different corporate buildings allowed us to get a little bit more of the story that Nintendo doesn't just straight out tell us. And also, getting some secret unlockables tells us some details as well, but putting them together gives us a very interesting story. Using the information that we learned from the demo and also combining it with past Kirby games might give us a story that connects everything all together. Now before we get started, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Kirby and all this crazy lore, especially when the new Kirby and Forgotten Land game drops in just a couple of weeks. So make sure you also have notifications turned on to get ready for all this crazy nonsense that's about to happen within this game. It's gonna get crazy, I can tell. But thank you guys so much, and let's get on to the video. So all we really know right now is Kirby somehow gets sucked into this new land through a dimensional rift, and as he's going through it, he develops the ability to pretty much use mouthful mode on any type of item or object that's in his world. And he can transform into these objects and use their abilities that they already have, such as driving a car or shooting out soda cans. But one thing that's very evident is wherever Kirby goes in this world, he finds the same sign with the same company name on it, being Hallen. The figurine's description states that this logo belonged to an auto shop named Hallen Custom Autos, part of Hallen Corporation. Hallen also sold industrial parts, managed construction, and made all kinds of stuff. From buildings to streets to amusement park rides. Remember, if it's quality, it's Hallen. Or perhaps it would be more accurate. I don't think we have a minifigure for the second company, but right now the second company we know is called Arrival, and they're more for kind of the lifestyle of this place. For instance, vacation spot, food, stuff like that, a company more focused on leisure. Finally, the third company called Lightron Works, and we actually do have a minifigure of this one, and it states, the Lightron Works company was a massive corporation that invested in research and development within all kinds of fields, electro, bio, astro, and more. Lightron eventually split up, giving rise to many rival companies and countless heated corporate battles. Something that's interesting to note is if you put these three companies together, you'll notice the first letters all spell out HAL, which is the company that develops Kirby, HAL Labs. Now that was just a cute little Easter egg that they put in, but these three companies go a lot further than what we might think. Now Arrival is going to be the only one that kind of sits out here because it's more about hospitality instead of actually the advancement of this world. So the first thing that I want to start off with is Hallen. Now Hallen was really the construction of this place. It's what kind of built everything up, from the buildings, the cars, the transportation, everything that the civilians would use to live or to get from point A to point B was through Hallen, because it was all quality. But something that's very interesting is the last line where it says, obviously if it's quality, it's Hallen, but perhaps it would be more accurate. Now this could just simply be stating the fact that, the city is in crumbles now and, Hallen is no longer a thing, but maybe it's actually signifying something else. Maybe Hallen was one of the companies that actually led to the destruction of this world. Like perhaps maybe they got too greedy and decided to build something crazy like some type of power machine or some type of nuclear plant and it blew up the world or something like that. It could very well be possible. But the one that continues to make me wonder the most has to be Lightron Works. Lightron Works was more than just buildings or more than just the lifestyle of this place. They were actually in charge of, progressing the world and working with all types of things. This company was responsible for research development, and once again, hitting all of these different coverages, being electro, bio, astro, and even more. But the first thing I want to focus on about this is the bio. Once again, dealing with animal and plant life. So what if somehow they were actually able to mutanize some of the animals and creatures of this world? We do know that the main antagonists of this game are called the Beast Pack. They're these wild animals that are capturing all these Waddle Dees and different characters throughout Kirby's world. And they could have been also, responsible for capturing Meta Knight and maybe transforming King Dedede into his wild variant. So the question is, why are they doing this, and how are they doing this? Why are these animals so crazy? Well, maybe Lightron had their own hand on things and actually mutated them and made them crazy in some type of lab experiment, which could also be one of the reasons this world is in crumbles. All of these animals went crazy and started destroying the world piece by piece, very similar to Planet of the Apes, where the apes actually rise up against the humans. But I almost feel like the Beast Pack is really not even the main antagonist still. I still think there's something else that's leading this whole thing, and that's kind of leading and charging this whole invasion. We talked a lot about there being a potential lion, as all the cages have pictures of lions on them. but I think it's even further than him as well. Going back to that Lightron Works sign, it actually gives us more information about the company itself. It says Lightron eventually split up, giving rise to many rival companies and countless heated corporate battles. So they split up and, more companies formed and lots of battles between these companies went in place, which might even be another reason why this world is in ruin. Maybe those battles got heated and fell into all-out war and just destroyed this world before they knew it, eventually leaving it as a hellscape with nothing left. But Lightron split up, right? Well, who are these other companies that, branched off and did their own thing? We might actually see them later on in the game as we get into further stages, because it's probably where they moved out of the city, but we might actually have a hint at one of the other companies that rose up against them. Well, that other rogue company could very well be the Haltmann Works company. In Kirby Planet Robobot, Planet Popstar was invaded by the Access Ark, which was a giant planetoid that was completely coated in robo armor, and of course had a legion of robots that tried to take over Planet Popstar thanks to their leader, President Haltmann, and his secretary / daughter being Susie. Haltmann and Susie never really had a home world. They never mentioned anywhere that they came from, just traveling the galaxy within this Access Ark being their planet Robobot. And that was it. We don't know where they come from or where they even originate from, which very well could be the case of them originating from this sacred land of Forgotten Land. The story of President Haltmann and his daughter is very, very tragic. One day on their homeland, he found a supercomputer, and working with the supercomputer, he accidentally trapped Susie in some type of dimensional void, sending her away in her own dimension. As she was sucked into this dimension, she lost all memory of her father, and her father went crazy trying to get her back, building the ultimate computer known as Stardream. Stardream eventually allowed Haltmann to retrieve his daughter, but came at a sacrifice. As he would use the mind control helmet in order to control Stardream, it slowly sucked away his consciousness and really his ability to remember anything about his daughter. So when he found his daughter within the void, he got her back, but didn't even know who she was. He still had some fondness of her though, however, which made him appoint her as his main secretary. But neither of the two, father or daughter, knew who the other was. So maybe Haltmann Works rose up from the ground as one of these rival companies, or maybe an extension of Lightron Works or Hallen, as, the H, Hallen, it kind of, makes sense in that form. But maybe he was one of the, people or leaders of this world at one point in time that actually developed a lot of these things. And making this giant Stardream, wishing machine thing, it kind of caused the downfall and destruction of this world as we know it. Maybe it was after this destruction of this world is when he decided to set out and rule other worlds with his Access Ark. Well, that's all fine and dandy because Haltmann is dead, right? Well, I don't know. There's still a lot of things to unpack here with Planet Robobot and a lot of unanswered questions, especially with Susie. Susie eventually did find a way to help out Kirby and stop President Haltmann, aka her own father, but at the same time, she still left a lot of, unwritten motives that make it seem as if she's still coming back in an antagonistic way, and I'll get into that in a second. But let's talk about President Haltmann and obviously Stardream, because is it confirmed that they are 100% finished and dead? I don't know yet, because there still might be something we don't know about. Now, it was revealed that pretty much 99.9% of his soul, consciousness, and overall being was sucked up into this robot. Well, really, into this super mega mother computer. And there's really nothing left of Haltmann, apparently. But that doesn't mean that his memories and his consciousness isn't still stuck into this computer, right? Well, Kirby, turned into the battleship Halberd, actually battles Stardream as well, which is actually part of President Haltmann as well, trapped inside of it. Well, we know Kirby ultimately gets the best of Stardream and defeats it, but we also have the OS version, which shows Kirby defeating the heart of it as well. But the thing is, we know that the true arena is not always canon, and this probably isn't canon as well, which probably means maybe the heart of Stardream is still alive or maybe in pieces somewhere else in the galaxy. But let's say that's the case. Stardream is still in pieces and so is the heart, and President Haltmann's memories and soul is still in this machine as well somewhere. But the question remains is who's putting it back together? Well, normally in Kirby games, the villain or any trace of them is destroyed completely, but we do see Susie fly off and doesn't even greet the friends back down on Planet Popstar or say anything to them. She kind of just goes away somewhere. And you might be questioning, does she still even have evil intent at all after helping Kirby? Well, she might, because in Guest Star from Kirby Star Allies, her description reads, the company he built. I will bring it back. It then goes on to say that she's cool and collected. Susie from Kirby Planet Robobot is all business. Following in the footsteps of her employer, she uses science to advance her mission, mechanizing new planets and peoples. So it seems as if she is still bent on bringing back the Haltmann company, which is very interesting. She still wants to bring back everything that her father/employer did, which is weird that she even helped Kirby in the first place, but it does seem like she's still a villain at the end of everything. Well, let's take it back again to the beginning of Kirby in the Forgotten Land, because Kirby is just randomly sucked in, and things from his world is sucked in through star portals that are all over his world, which are dimensional rifts. Some being or something is creating these dimensional rifts and sucking in the Waddle Dees and the life from planet Popstar. But why are they doing this? Who is doing this, and what is the purpose? Now we know dimensional rifts can only be formed from powerful beings or objects, and most of those powerful beings have been, completely dead. Maybe Magalore is still alive and somehow is causing this? I doubt it, but I do think this could be coming from Stardream still. What if Susie was in charge of all this? What if she gathered all the pieces of Stardream and pieced them back together in order to build him even stronger than he once was? Using the power of Stardream to summon dimensional rifts, she was able to warp Kirby and all of his friends into this new world. And maybe this so-called Beast Pack is working for her as her army, since most of the robots have been destroyed from Kirby and Planet Robobot. Because whoever is summoning these star portals into these dimensional rifts must be a very powerful being, and I don't think anybody that we've seen so far throughout the trailers or anything even resembled something that could be that powerful. Unless there's something that we still don't know about, like some type of magical gem held by somebody that's capable of producing these star portals. I really don't know what else it could be besides maybe Stardream coming back again. But there's probably so much more we don't know about this game. This was really just the basics of everything that we know so far, and there's bound to be so much more lore jam-packed into this game because I think there's some interesting things to come. But let me know what you guys think so far in the comments down below, and if there's anything else that I probably didn't add or mention that could go into this theory. And thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Kirby in the Forgotten Land and all things Kirby and Nintendo in general. Thank you so much for tuning in, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.